you all, and good morning. Carpetbagger here, coming to you live from the south, and we are back in Tennessee. We are on the road to Trans World in St. Louis. Of course, Trans World, the haunted house trade show. I have it every year in St. Louis. They're having it a little earlier this year than normal, so I'm on my way, headed in that direction. I got some stops planned along the way. Currently, I'm in front of the Tennessee Welcome Center, and I've talked about this on the channel before. I wanted to show off some of the different welcome centers in America. I know the number one welcome center, as far as I'm concerned, is Florida, where they give you free orange juice, free grapefruit juice when you arrive. So I wanted to see what Tennessee has to offer. And as you can see here, Tennessee, some very strong theming. Their welcome center actually made to look like an old cabin that you would find here in the Smoky Mountains, with some rocking chairs there on the porch. See the information desk there. We also have none other than Dolly Parton to greet us here in Tennessee. Here we are in the cabin section. You can see an absolute immense amount of brochures advertising different attractions. Here's the Chattanooga area. Yeah, there's so much cool stuff in Tennessee. Rock City, Ruby Falls, Lost Sea Adventure, all really, really cool stuff. Look at all these tubs that they have. These are all full of brochures. I guess they've been restocking brochures. We have the fireplace there. That is a horse. His name is Justified Honors. He's a champion Tennessee walking horse. Some Civil War information here for those Civil War buffs out there. I just noticed this little box here has, okay, looks like it has a little battle scene in it and a button. Some crafts from local artisans here, including Misty Mountain doggy shampoo. Well, let's take a step out onto the porch. Oh yeah. Sit out here and watch the traffic go by. Then we have these rocking chairs on the porch, perfect for a good rest here at the rest stop. Now we have stopped off in Knoxville, Tennessee. We are here in the World's Fair Park in front of the Sunsphere. The Sunsphere was built for the 1982 Knoxville World Fair. So it's one of those World Fair icons like the Eiffel Tower or the Seattle Space Needle right here in Knoxville. Now, the first time that I ever heard of the Sunsphere was from the episode of The Simpsons, Bart on the Road, when Bart is able to falsely get a driver's license and takes his friends on a road trip, and they mistakenly think the World Fair is still going on, so they travel to Knoxville and they see the Sunsphere, but it has been turned into the Wig Sphere. They use it as a place to store dirty old wigs, but yeah, and then they knock in the cartoon. They knock down the Sunsphere, or the Wig Sphere, rather. I know some people I know still refer to it as the Wig Sphere. But when I remember when I first saw it in person, just driving along the highway, I was like, That's real? That's a real thing? I didn't know. I mean, I guess I should have figured it was a real thing, but just, I was younger, had seen it only on The Simpsons, so it was like crazy. It was like something from a cartoon coming to life. Now, there is some truth in the Simpsons episode. The Sunsphere has been abandoned. It's abandoned immediately after the World's Fair, and actually abandoned a few times after that. It's had a rocky history of being open as an attraction, and then it was again closed down during the pandemic. It has reopened. I drove out here a couple months ago. It was supposed to be open and it was closed. So fingers crossed that the Sunsphere is open. Maybe we can take the elevator up to the top. All right, so it looks like the Sunsphere is open today. I guess we have to buy our tickets online. All right, so I bought my ticket online. It was only $5. Unfortunately, it's a timed entry, and our next entry was 3 o'clock. So we got about 53 minutes. It says, got tickets, wait here at your scheduled reservation time. We will pick you up. Okay, so we have to be here at 3 o'clock in order to be taken up to the top of the Sunsphere. All right, while we're waiting for our Sunsphere time, there's something else that we could possibly check out here inside the Knoxville Convention Center. Here inside the Convention Center, we have the world's largest Rubik's Cube. This actually was from the 1982 World's Fair in the Hungry Pavilion. Hungry as in the country, not the urge to eat. But yes, the Rubik's Cube was designed in the country of Hungary. And after the World's Fair ended, they donated the world's largest Rubik's Cube to the city of Knoxville. And apparently it was originally left under an overpass, and it was rusting and rotting, but they refurbished it, they got it working. It actually can rotate and spin, but apparently it's very hard to keep it operating because of the old-fashioned mechanics inside. So I think right now it is currently not operational. Now the cube has been moved around a bit. It used to be in the lobby of the Holiday Inn, but they've moved it over here to the exhibition center. When it was at the Holiday Inn, they actually had a little gift shop where you could buy miniature Sunspheres. They're across from the Sunsphere. You can see they have a big concert space here in the middle of the park. Over here we have the World's Fair Exhibition Hall, which is still, I guess, part of the convention center. They host events here. They also have the Makers Exchange, which is I guess some local artists. You can see this wall here of animal portraits, and you notice there's something like a little bit off about these animals. And I don't know, I looked at it and I picked up on it. Can you tell what is off about these animals? All these animals in these photos are taxidermied. See, this was the photographer is Diane Fox. She calls this the Unnatural History Portraits. They're all portraits of taxidermied animals. Yeah, you can kind of see once you know, you tell the difference and see how slightly unnatural these animals look. We got that animal version of the Uncanny Valley. Of course, this jackalope may have been a giveaway if these were taxidermied animals. I like these ones too. This is by a Vincent Drake. Also here in World's Fair Park, in viewing distance from the Sunsphere, we have the statue here of Rachmaninoff. I think I said that right. He was a famed piano player and actually played his very last concert here in Knoxville in the 1940s. I guess they erected this statue as a commemoration of his last great concert. And here on the back of his piano, there is some musical notes. This is actually the funeral march, fittingly, which apparently he did play at his last concert. You know, it's like da 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 da. And the time is upon us, almost 3 o'clock. So I'll go line up for my Sunsphere tour. All right, here we go.
Okay, so go on in. And
cocktails.
Oh, you can eat buffet? Yeah. Hors d'oeuvres.
Hors d'oeuvres.
Yeah, they'll have it all on trays.
How do you say that?
He says horse d'oeuvres. You say horse d'oeuvres, don't you? And you say hors d'oeuvres. 22 dollars up.
Now see here, there's actually a shattered glass pane right here, and the sign says, "We'd like to blame Bart Simpson." Of course, actually it was Nelson that threw a rock and knocked over the Sunsphere, but in reality the heat broke the glass. So they said there's actually 4 stories above us in the Sunsphere. We're kind of on the lower half here on the observation deck. We get a nice 360 view around the Sunsphere here. And it's kind of interesting, the view here, you know, the Sunsphere is actually built in one of the lowest points in Knoxville. So actually get kind of like a straight-on view of a lot of the buildings surrounding us. So for some reason up here on top of the Sunsphere they have a Pac-Man arcade 1-up machine. They have all these odd variations of Pac-Man. Let's try Pac and Pal. I've never heard of that before. Hey, where's Pac-Man? We go, where's his pals? This Pac and Pal. Oh, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm doing here. There's no dots. There's no power-ups. Oh, I'm like a sitting duck for the monsters. Oh. Wait a minute, is this all because Pac-Man is a gold sphere? Like the Sunsphere? We have a case here of memorabilia from the World's Fair. You can see all the different replicas of the Sunsphere there.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, we have some classic World's Fair beer. Some merchandise here as well, selling some Rubik's Cubes. As we saw the world's largest Rubik's Cubes down next door. The signature scent of the Sunsphere, it's a candle. It makes me wonder what does the Sunsphere smell like? Some Sunsphere Christmas ornaments. There we got Santa hugging the Sunsphere. There's the TVA building, the Tennessee Valley Authority, the organization responsible for damming up all the rivers here and creating artificial lakes. Look out there and see the highway. And we have some stickers. As well as you can get a miniature pewter Sunsphere there. See the Smoky Mountains there behind the city of Knoxville. Here we have the YMCA. And the copyright music they're pumping into the Sunsphere is actually all from 1982. We built this city on rock and roll. And we can look straight down here and see people waiting in front of the Sunsphere. It is kind of cool to get that sweeping 360 view of Knoxville. And you're kind of, like I said, you're kind of like right in the middle of the city. You're not really looking at the city, you're looking around at the city around you. We have a selfie machine right here. It actually says powered by Hootboard. So let's see, we'll click on photo booth there. All right, we gotta pick our outline. You have, I guess, the pride flag, and let's do like this has the Sunsphere as the frame. So let's go with that. And okay, let's look up for our photo. All right, there we go. That's a pretty nice selfie there in the Sunsphere, and then you can enter your email and have this sent to myself. Here's some information about the 82 World's Fair, and we can see an interesting picture there of the Sunsphere being built. So we're on one of the lower floors here. In the observation, they said there's office and event space above us, but apparently there's no windows. It's closed in up there, so it's like being in a tomb in the sky. Oh, I'm really bummed that they don't have the sky cars here at the Sunsphere still. You can see all the different places that people came from just to see the Sunsphere. Virtually everyone in America has been to the Sunsphere, and people have even traveled from Antarctica to see the Sunsphere. All right, and we're gonna head down. One of these elevators will be opening up here in a second. And I did purchase a little miniature Sunsphere, a little pewter replica. See it standing there proudly next to its mother. Of course, this brings me to the question, why don't we have world fairs anymore? Now actually they still do have world fairs in different parts of the world, but the last World Fair in North America was in Vancouver in 1986. Since then we have had a massive decades-long dry spell of no world fairs. Now, I've been making a project of visiting all the state fairs here in the United States, and state fairs are amazing. I can only imagine how fun a World's Fair would be. So, I don't know, who do I need to ask? Who do I need to speak to? Maybe I'll start a petition somewhere that we need another World's Fair here in America. There he is. Stopped off here in Caryville, Tennessee at the Dollar General because something very special lurks here behind the store. And there he is in all his glory. The Thunder Mountain Dragon. Yes, for generations, travelers here alongside Interstate 75 have borne witness to the Thunder Mountain Dragon. He previously was the mascot of a fireworks shop called Thunder Mountain Fireworks, which was actually here where the Dollar General now sits. But unfortunately, Thunder Mountain Fireworks exploded because there was fireworks inside and there was some sort of mishap that caused a massive firework explosion that completely leveled the shop. And there's actually other fireworks shops here in the same area where the same thing has happened to. So fireworks shop explosions are very real. But despite the fact that the shop was gone, the Thunder Mountain Dragon lived on. He stayed here behind the Dollar General. Unfortunately, he started to decrode. His paint started to chip. One of his ears had even fallen off the last time I saw him. But he has now been given a full manicure where back to his full glory. I know his eyes used to glow at night. I don't know if his eyes are back to glowing, but man, he's looking good. Good to see him with both his ears on, with a fresh coat of paint. You can see there his feet on the somewhat crumbling platform, but yeah, the shiny new coat of paint. Love his little tiny and practical wings to his big vicious face. Oh, I love you, Thunder Mountain Dragon. Get up close here. It's pretty sturdy fiberglass. And if you look here, his tail actually winds around here. See the big, long, scaly tail there. The pointy end on it. Wait a minute. Where's the Waffle House? Oh, there it is. There it is. Also along the interstate here is one of these massive crosses. You'll see these giant metal crosses dotting the highways of the United States, mostly in the southern region. These are all put in place by a man named James Potter. So yes, as I'm traveling down the highways of America, always looking for the coffin dapper crosses, the 3 wooden crosses, the gold and blue ones. Also looking for Harrison Mays crosses, which are really rare, the smaller concrete ones, but also keeping my eye out for the massive James Potter crosses. And actually, when I had my last meetup, I met some of James Potter's family. They came to my meetup. James was not there, but his grandson was there. And he gave me these pennies with, they have little cross stamps in them. And that's one thing I guess James Potter gives out is the pennies with the hole shaped like a cross punched in them. And so his grandson gave me some of the pennies when he came to my meetup, which I thought was really cool. And this probably is one of the more well-known of the James Potter crosses because of its proximity to this adult world, this giant adult store here along 75. And we are back in Kentucky. So let's check out the Kentucky Welcome Center. See, they greet us with some golden horses. Yeah, I think this fencing here actually is horse fencing that you would see driving through Kentucky. Oh, look at all those. Look at all those brochures there. And here along the Dixie Highway, here in Corbin, Kentucky, we have the birthplace of Kentucky Fried Chicken, Sanders Cafe. Yes, Sanders Cafe. This is where Colonel Sanders opened his first restaurant. Also had a gas station and a hotel, which would have been over in this area for travelers on Route 66. We have some restored gas pumps here, which would have been similar to the ones that were here when the cafe originally opened. Now, the restaurant currently is an operating KFC, but it also is a museum celebrating the life of Colonel Harlan Sanders. I'm actually really excited to finally make it back here. They have had a museum here for quite some time, but they actually did a complete refurbishment of the museum, and it was set to open spring of 2020. And a funny thing happened. It was not able to open because of a global pandemic, and it actually did not open the doors back up for quite some time. I think it was just sometime last year that it finally opened in 2020. So it was brand new museum, opened and then sat with no visitors for over 2 years. So finally excited to get back here and check out the brand new Harlan Sanders Museum. This was the original entrance over here under the neon sign, but the new entrance is over here, these glass doors that lead into the KFC. Oh, it's so great to see this back open. You have the bust of Harlan Sanders. It says, before he was the colonel, he was a man. We have the iconic white suit Colonel Sanders would always wear, along with his trademark black tie. Some personal items from Colonel Sanders and his wife. Got his belt buckle there that says Colonel Sanders on it. And there's his driver's license. So yeah, he always dressed like that. You can see the man there smiling with his bucket of chicken. True American icon, that Colonel Sanders. Now here in the dining room, and what Colonel Sanders actually would do to allow guests to view the hotel rooms, to entice people to stay at the hotel rooms, in the middle of the restaurant he would have a mock hotel room so people could come in and see what the hotel looked like. And this actually changed. They actually used to be able to come up to this door and peek in, but they now got it where you can have a little pathway that you can walk through the room. See the bed there. Take a peek inside the bathroom there. And and they had, I guess, a payphone in the hotel room. And we have a model here of the original diner and hotel. There's the diner, that's where we currently are. And then those gas pumps next door where the gas pumps currently are, and then the hotel would have been behind them, which is now currently the parking lot. So walk through the kitchen here, look into the kitchen, see where he has his pressure cooker, where he cooked the chicken at, and we can see the dish washer right here. There's some Colonel quotes right here. It says, if you have time to lean, you have time to clean. Colonel Sanders invented this. Oh man, I suddenly don't like Colonel Sanders as much. I hated that phrase when I worked in restaurants. Sitting in a rocker never appealed to me. Golf or fishing isn't as much fun as working. Oh man, Colonel Sanders. See some items here that would have been in the original kitchen. See the pressure cooker there that revolutionized the way he cooked chicken. There is the blend of 11 herbs and spices. It's a complete secret which herbs and spices they are. See the old packages of the seasoning there. This is the 1960s packaging, and then the 2020 packaging. And there we have a wall that does not say which one of these spices are the 11. But yeah, all these different spices here that could possibly be part of the 11 secret herbs and spices. Maybe it's fennel, maybe wasabi powder, maybe even paprika. Could it be white mustard? Could it be mole spice? Could it be mustard flour or star anise? Leave a comment in the comment section what you think the 11 herbs and spices actually are. Guess the 11 herbs and spices are being held in this high security safe here in Corbin. Let's see if we can crack the safe here. Oh, there we go. We got it? No, I think they got it pretty secure. Enter this new extension back here where they have a lot of the new museum exhibits. Here's a postcard of Sanders Court here. One interesting thing is there was originally 2 locations. The other one is in Asheville, North Carolina, where I just came from. The building is still there, but it is actually turned into apartments. Here we have the history of the bucket. You can see how the bucket has evolved over the years. Well, there's a very patriotic bucket. These old school buckets here. Well, that one has Dale Earnhardt Jr. on it. Yeah, with all the different packaging here. There's some Christmas themed packaging. Of course, in Japan, KFC is the traditional Christmas meal. And there's a model of the Big Chicken in Marietta, Georgia. A very, very unique location there. Over here we have a baked bean pot. Collection of different artifacts, including a set of Kentucky Fried Chicken Crocs. I've never seen those. They actually have a chicken leg as a gibbet. And there's the album Monsters and Robots by Buckethead, a musician who famously wore a KFC bucket on his head and a mask as well. And actually was a member of Guns N' Roses at one point. Here's some Star Wars figures that they gave away at one point, even having a Jar Jar Binks bucket topper. It says do not sit on the couch, so we will refrain from sitting on that couch. They do have a really cool Kentucky shaped coffee table there. Some more interesting items. We have a KFC bucket hat, and then a little collection of Colonel Sanders from different parts of the world. See a Hawaiian Colonel Sanders, a Mexican Colonel Sanders there, even an Egyptian Pharaoh Colonel Sanders. You can see how iconic he has become across the world. A globe here showing us all the different countries where KFC is located. You can see that that "You Are Here" pin where we currently are. Also notice there's a yellow pin over there in Utah. That's where the actual first restaurant by the name of Kentucky Fried Chicken was started, the first franchisee. All this crazy artwork of Colonel Sanders. There's muscular Colonel Sanders with baby chicks. That's the South Park version of Colonel Sanders. The Super Mario version there. And yeah, all these different, here he is as a superhero. There he is on the cover of a romance novel. Says he is the most recognized face in the world. I think there is some truth to that. I think he's one of the most recognizable characters up there with Santa Claus. There's the very creepy Colonel Sanders mask. Colonel Sanders ashtray there. And there's the Green Lantern teams up with Colonel Sanders. And then Colonel Corpse, where there's like a whole army of Colonel Sanders superheroes working together. Now, in recent history, they've had different celebrities portray Colonel Sanders in the commercials. Colonel Sanders actually sold his likeness to the company before he passed away. So you see now there's Daryl Hammond. I remember he was a real creepy Colonel Sanders. And Jason Alexander from Seinfeld, Rob Riggle. There's the Dolph Ziggler from WWE. Norm Macdonald. Oh, Billy Zane played the solid gold Colonel Sanders. Even Reba McEntire got in on the act. And I guess we can put our face here in the mirror and become the next Colonel Sanders. So there we got a line her face up here with the mirror. Am I Colonel Sanders now? Am I Colonel Sanders now? These old school figurines. We have some Colonel Sanders bobbleheads. And then even have some modern Funko Pops. There you have the Funko KFC Pez dispenser. Oh, they did keep the photo op here. It says the ghostly Colonel Sanders used to sit up front in the KFC portion. Hey buddy, good to be back here. Here by the bathrooms, you see the little bathroom guy has a Colonel Sanders tie. And we also have this map of the Dixie Highway. I actually have this same map hanging above my desk in the bunker. Of course, a couple years back, I actually traveled the whole Dixie Highway. The map here is missing a few legs. There's also a leg that goes down through Georgia, and then one that goes down the other side of Florida. Big metal Colonel Sanders sign there. Here's a Colonel Sanders weather vane. They would actually put these on top of the stores at one point. But now it is time to eat. The counter over here, which is an operational KFC. We'll get some of the KFC exclusive Mountain Dew, the Sweet Lightning. I think we're gonna sit over here in the old classic dining room. And there is my delicious feast. I got the 3-piece dark meat meal, 2 thighs and 1 leg. Went with the mashed potatoes and coleslaw as the sides. All right, let's try some of this Sweet Lightning here. That's interesting. I don't know. Okay. That is peach flavored Mountain Dew here at KFC. All right. Love a good KFC chicken thigh. Of course, KFC, it's always good. You know, the classic KFC spork. Dig into the mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes always have that weird, unique consistency to it. It's you know, not real potatoes by any means, but you know, it's got a very creamy flavor to it, and that gravy is always good. And I am a huge fan of the coleslaw. You know, I don't like a lot of coleslaw you get out there. I think there's a lot of bad coleslaw going around, but I think KFC can always be relied on for some delicious coleslaw. So thank you for joining me here on my continued journeys. Definitely love Harlan Sanders Cafe. I do love that the KFC Corporation has preserved the history here. I think that's admirable. But yeah, we're gonna continue on. I'm gonna go get a hotel room here shortly and settle in for the evening, and then we will continue on towards St. Louis. I'm thinking I'm gonna stop, maybe stop at my mom's house outside of Chicago for a couple days, and then from there head on to St. Louis. So stay tuned. We got the Trans World Convention coming up, one of my favorite events of the year. So we're gonna get there, we're gonna enjoy the haunts, the haunters, and we're gonna enjoy our road trip to get there as well. If you like these videos, please subscribe. If you'd like to help support the channel, consider donating to Patreon. $3 or more will get you a postcard once a month from me to you. Also selling enamel pins in the Etsy shop, including the Kawaii Carpetbagger Fiji Merman pin. And just remember, all that goes to help keeping this train on the track, this boat in the water, and this chicken high, high in the air. Until next time, my friends, until tomorrow morning, this one's in the bag.